Thursday, and we've got a few hotlines coming right up. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Black Spring with Autumn on your Thursday. It's Marty Lauderdale. Marty Lauderdale, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. It's nice to see you. And it is Thursday, and I'm back. We kind of delved into a few things earlier today, but I'm going to get into some specifics in this particular stream. We're probably going to go for about 3 specific lines. And what I want to do is the People's Pendulum will be available to you. So speak up, speak out. We got pain at the pump. I would love to say starve the system, but in this case, we can't. We may not quite be able to starve this part of the system at this point. So check out our People's Pendulum on Speak Up, Speak Out on this stream. And welcome to It's Thursday. All right, and we are back. So I have an extra liner to start with, and I think I'm going to go ahead and start with that particular one. And it's going to deal with Apple, and it's also going to deal with digitizing your driver's license. So we're going to start. We have a trailblazer for that, a trailblazer that's been named in the media for the digital driver's license. And before that, we're going to say thanks to our loyal patrons, subscribers, and of course, the viewers like yourself. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Marcy T, Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, thank you so much again for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. I really appreciate it. So we're going to get going right away. We have, let's say hello to everybody in the stream. Luciano, Marty Lauderdale is back. Thank you so much. Derek C. Williams is here. It's a pleasure, as always. And Derek comes in with listening to you live on their tube from Philadelphia, the alleged birthplace of freedom. Thank you, Derek C. Williams and Alex Leaping Jones. Thank you so much for coming in. Luciano. Oh, wow. Okay, this is Mitch the Switch. McConnell says he'll vote against Creepy Joe's far left-wing SCOTUS pick. All right. Well, we're gonna get going with that's enough to set the pace for That'll set the pace for us right away. You guys never fail. You're on the cutting edge. All right, so let's get going here. And yeah, so thank you guys so much as always. So we're going to get going with the digitization. We got this digitization in tow to boot with everything else. So let's get going right over there. How are you guys doing out there? I will be sharing the screen. So if you need help, let me know. So, all right. So here we are talking about digitizing your life. And we do have, I guess, a trailblazer for this particular event or occasion. This is auspicious occasion, right? All right. According to this is coming from the New York Post. Apple lobbied NY officials in push for digital driver's license. This is a penman, Theo Waite. All right, as you can see, you got the what looks like your design here for the driver's license. So you scan the front of your ID, and it tells you what to do. So, we'll keep going here. Okay. Looks like you'll even be able to get it. Looks like they prototyped it. It's already prototyped out for the your iWatch. Okay. Watch this. Okay. So we're going to keep going. Apple wants customers to store versions of their driver's license on their phones and watches. Apple lobbyists met with New York State officials last year as part of a controversial nationwide push for digital driver's licenses. State records show the tech giant wants customers to store versions of the government ID documents, including their state driver's licenses, in digital wallets that can be accessed through iPhones, Apple Watches, and other Apple devices. Okay, the company pitches the feature as convenient and secure. Oh, it sounds like some of the trending things out of the WeForm. But privacy activists have objected to connecting personal IDs to phones and raised questions about Apple's state contracts. So what are we talking here? This is on your person. So that's coming up, a Fourth Amendment violation, where they just following you everywhere. They're in your wallet. Okay. They're omnipotent, right? See, this is what I'm talking about, the God complex. They want to be everywhere, not like, what's the card? The card, it's everywhere you want to be. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. That's a little omnipotent too. So old school, but okay. I'll be quiet. And I'll give you guys full screen. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Coming in hot. All right, we're going to keep going. Thank you. Thank you so much. Derek C. Williams comes in with Mississippi is trying that for licenses too, I believe. All right, so let's get on with it. Okay, we're going to keep going here. What we have is as part of Apple's push, an Albany-based lobbying firm called Roth Group met with the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles Deputy Commissioner Greg Klein twice in 2021, according to recently released state records. During a meeting during the first half of the year, Apple lobbyists discussed, quote, mobile driver's licenses, end quote, with Klein. While another meeting in the second half of 2021 gave a, quote, update on Apple's announcement on digital identity cards, end quote, records released by the New York State Joint Commission on Public Ethics show. Apple did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Quote, like many states, DMV is interested in further exploring the concept and technologies, end quote. Lisa Kumijan, an assistant commissioner at the New York State DMV, the Post. Okay, so we have a picture of the fellow here. That's about be your Deputy Commissioner Greg Klein there, who met with Apple lobbyists. The state records do not provide details on the meeting, but it appears that any efforts to get New York immediately on board with Apple's ID program were unsuccessful. In September, Apple announced that Arizona and Georgia would be the first states to participate in the digital driver's license program, followed by Connecticut, Iowa, Kentucky, Maryland, Oklahoma, and Utah. The company also said that the Transportation Security Administration plans to start accepting IDs stored on iPhones at, quote, select airport security checkpoints, end quote, in, quote, participating airports without providing details. Quote, the addition of driver's licenses and state IDs to Apple Wallet is an important step in our vision. You see, our vision of replacing the physical wallet with a secure and easy to use mobile wallet, end quote, Apple Vice President Jennifer Bailey said at the time. But the Electronic Frontier Foundation, a digital rights and privacy group, has raised concerns about the privacy implications of phone linked IDs. We talked about this before, right? We talked about how privacy is going to be like a luxury. That's going to be something for the elite, that they're going to be the ones with the privacy because they can afford to either circumvent, or you're just not going to have access to what they have access to. Okay. Quote, designed wrong, digital IDs might be a big step towards national identification, in which every time we talk through a door, buy coffee, a record of the event is collected and aggregated, end quote, the group said last year, adding that connecting digital devices to real world IDs risk, quote, hampering the ability to engage in constitutionally protected anonymous speech and facilitating privacy, destroying persistent tracking of our activities and associations. So, as you can see, this is a prototype again here. I think it is. I tell you what to do here. Double click to present. I give you the transportation security admin. I tell you the following information will be presented. Do you think it's going to stop here, folks? Really? As they say, really? It's only, once this happens, it's just like opening up the floodgates, it will be. Let me keep going here. Meanwhile, a November CNBC report revealed that several states who have signed ID contracts with Apple are required to pay for many aspects of the program themselves and agree to let Apple review and approve, quote, all public-facing communications, end quote, relating to the program. Quote, Apple's interest is clear. Sell more iPhones, end quote. Johns Hopkins Carey Business School professor Philip Fan told the outlet, quote, the state's interest is to serve its citizens, but I'm not sure why they think a partnership with one specific technology company that owns a closed ecosystem is the best way to do it. For the state to spend taxpayers' money on a product that serves only half its citizens is questionable, end quote. One of Apple lobbyists meeting with Klein was first reported on the Albany Times Union. Records show that Apple paid Roth Group a total of $108,000 for its work in 2021, which also included lobbying efforts around mocktail passports and distribution. So you see what I'm saying? Once they tap into this under whatever auspices that they want, that they say, then it's just like, they're doing it bit by bit. They're not doing it in one big chunk. Okay. To me, it's, kind of like what Facebook, they were connecting the world, or they're bringing you the world. And now they want you to bring yourself to them, bring yourself to them. They want to know everything about you while they keep everything from you. I'm just saying. And can you imagine where this information, that was the whole talk about the dangers of the 5G, was that, there was concerns allegedly by our fantastic selected representatives in Congress that they were worried about espionage and trade secrets and this kind of a bit. Well, what do you think is going to happen with this information? They'll start telling you what you can do and what you can and cannot do with your own information, or so what will Apple become a state sponsored vessel for this kind of information or violation? Just saying, the people's pendulum is out there. If you want to tune in, and what's next? The biometrics will be on there. Yeah, because let's look at this prototype here really quickly again. Or did I put the pendulum out there? Did I do it? I think I did. So hang tight really quick. I want to show you, they used the CV19 to open the floodgates to this kind of a bit already when they started taking people's temperatures. So all over the country, people's temperatures have been taken, whether at restaurants or some event, even the doctor's offices. It's gone beyond health to them just wanting to know everything about you while they keep everything from you. Okay. So here, let's look at this prototype here again. So of course, it's a standard, nothing spectacular here, but look, it's got your what? Your gender bender, your eye color, your height. It's got all of your personal, attributes, and all of your demographic, your own individual, some of your biometrics is right here. And see, here's another thing that I've heard people talking about with that donor emblem on there. I assume this means that this person's a heart donor. So it's just, so to me, they can profile an entire stadium of people with probably just a click of a button. Once you guys start piling all this stuff, once you start uploading and putting this stuff into a system, who owns that information? What can they do with it? They can do whatever they want, including discriminate. Just saying it. Look, oh, well, it's just so cool. Some of these generations, oh, it's so cool. It's just an ID. We can get into concerts faster. And then, then you got to teach the uncle algorithms how to not discriminate, or teach them how to, pretty soon, it's a runaway train, okay? And they're trying every way. They're trying to do this in bits. And who was that guy that I heard on The View, on that gossip rag, The View, talking about the Constitution was basically, for the lack of a better word, I'm paraphrasing, or less than paraphrasing. He was basically saying it was trash. Okay? These people are going hard for their masters, for their liberal zaddies and their masters. Okay? Let me turn this thing down just a bit. I appreciate you guys so much for coming in on this Thursday. It has been quite a week. And thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me. So I am going to take us on to our next story, which is going to come from, we've talked about debauchery today. We've talked about houses of ill repute. And we're going to start with California. Gotta say, they're leading, right? Is that how we're supposed to be leading? All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick little break here, and I'll be right back. But yes, the people's pendulum is out, so you are welcome, because I think we're coming in hot. We're running hot already with the talk of a digital ID. But you can't have an ID. You can't have an ID when it comes to voting, but you need a digital ID. But actually, before we move on to that next piece from California, we will talk about who the trailblazer is. It looks like the state of Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. I need my Arizonans to chime in on that. It looks like Arizona is the first state. We'll see what that looks like. They are the first state to roll out this thing, to accept digital driver's licenses. Okay, quick break, and I'll be right back. Don't be shy. The people's pendulum is coming right up. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Look at Uncool Paranoia. She's here. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming in. And Fancy Truth is here. Thank you guys so much. So here we're on about right now. If you're just now coming in, we have been discussing the digital driver's licenses and how, I tell you how they just keep dripping out little pieces of what they actually want to do. They want to know everything about you, but they want to hide everything from you. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and see what Arizona is doing. All right. And I do think that pendulum is out there. So if you got something to say, you can speak on up anytime. All right. So let's go over here. This is coming from CNN Business. We'll go with CNN. We'll see what comes up here. According to this, Arizona is the first state to accept digital driver's licenses on iPhones. Okay, now this is coming from their CNN Business personality, Samantha Murphy Kelly, I presume. All right, according to this, iPhone owners with an Arizona driver's license or state ID can now upload either to their Apple Wallet, marking the first time a U.S. state has supported digital versions of this type of identification in the app. But the uses remain very limited for now. Starting Wednesday, Arizona residents with TSA PreCheck can present their digital driver's license or state ID by tapping their phone or Apple Watch at select Transportation Security Administration checkpoints in Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. However, they'll still need their physical IDs to fly home if traveling to a state that's not in the Apple program. In other words, any other state in the country. iPhone users will also, sorry about that. iPhone users will also still need to show their physical ID to, for example, enter a bar, get documents notarized, or show law enforcement at traffic stops, both in other states and in Arizona. Apple said it is exploring more ways for people to use digital verification in the future. Last year, Apple teased it was working with several states on the initiative, including Georgia, Connecticut, Iowa, Kentucky, Maryland, Oklahoma, and Utah. Apple originally noted on its website that the feature would launch last year, but the company told CNN Business it was complicated. It was a complicated process, and it's been working closely with the states to make this available as soon as possible. On Wednesday, Apple announced plans to also introduce the feature to Colorado, Hawaii, Mississippi, Ohio, and Puerto Rico. Shout out to Derek C. Williams for pointing out the MISISSIPPI. The rollout is part of Apple's ongoing effort to boost support for its digital wallet. That's an empty wallet, huh? It's a pretty empty wallet. That wallet's been out there for a while, and I guess people are just not biting, but I'll stop. Apple already offers features such as digital credit cards, movie tickets, car keys, boarding passes, and gift cards. These features offer the promise of added layer of convenience, push iOS users deeper into its ecosystem of services, and make the iPhone even more central to our lives. Exactly. And that's what Schwab says in his Fourth Industrial Revolution book, ladies and gentlemen. He says, we got to get the governments and everybody in on our team, and we got to convince these consumers that it's about convenience and it's for them. And the trap is going to work for many. Many people have already loaded their whole lives up into their iPhones. Many people have been counting their steps louder than, they've been counting their steps more than they count their blessings. Since what was the first version of the iPhone. But I'll keep going. I digress. To ensure the ID is official, the user will have to take a selfie after scanning and upload a picture of their driver's license or state ID card. The user will also be required to complete facial and head movements, similar to how Face ID is activated. The upload will be, quote, securely provided, end quote, to the state for verification, according to Apple. Once activated and approved, users can tap their iPhone or Apple Watch on the identity reader at the security checkpoint, and the agent will see the information required to fly. It works similarly to how people use the wallet to make purchases at card readers. Apple previously said information on the IDs is, quote, encrypted and protected against tampering and theft, end quote. Biometric authentication is also used to ensure the proper person is using the phone or watch. On their iPhone or Apple Watch, users will be shown which specific information is requested by the TSA. The user can agree to provide the information with Face ID or Touch ID without having to unlock their phone. See, you see what I'm saying? It's just so convenient. Look, man, you don't even have to unlock your phone. I got you before you even walked up. I knew who you were. All information is shared digitally, so users do not need to show or hand over their device to present their ID. Driver's license and state ID support on Apple Wallet is available on iPhone 8 or later running iOS 15.4 and Apple Watch Series 4 or later running Watch OS 8.4 or later. So I'm just saying, I old head Deuce is here. Ronan 22 Ronan. Oh my gosh, who's here right now? We have Anarchy Television who says, this is foolproof. Nothing could go. No, what could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? You know, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, and see, Apple has, can I say, for lack of a better word, a monopoly already. Like, if you have an iPhone, an iPad, and a MacBook, these devices talk to each other all the time. But the minute you go out of that, it doesn't talk to any other systems. So to me, that's why I'm like, are we on the verge of seeing, will Apple become somewhat of a state, a part of a state infrastructure if they start forcing things like this in terms of federalizing, IDs and that kind of a bit. That would be another contract for Apple, right? So we get everybody locked in. And at that point, you won't have an Android or a choice of an Android or a dumb phone or you won't have those choices anymore because the state says you got to get it. You got to get that. Let's see. Luciano says, aren't there cases of people suffering burns from Apple Watches? I don't know, but I never bought one of those. I think it's, when I see somebody looking at watches over and over, it just kind of drives me insane. I don't hear it, but the fact that I'm seeing you look down at this thing, can you just stop? It's just, I don't know. But, I also talked about how the technology that they're developing right now, they're going to be able to detect you by your heartbeat pretty soon. So go on ahead and keep loading all your nuances up into these devices. That pretty soon there won't be anything left. You won't, as they say in the streets, you won't have any business by the time Apple gets done with you. You ain't say all your business is everybody's. Like, everybody knows Victoria's Secret right now, and same thing with Apple. They're going to know all your secrets too. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will take a quick little break and I will be right back. Thank you guys. All right, so we are back. And thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And yes, I hope you guys are you entertained? Yes, yet. Let's see, I have Lee Menia here. Thank you so much for coming in. And then I'm going to be going over to the left coast. That's where we're going next. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry. So we're going to go over to the next liner. And thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment. All right. Sorry about that. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this segment. We're going to go over to the Golden Coast and see what does Gruesome Newsome have for us this time. I really appreciate it. Derek C. Williams comes in hot with a thinking may soon be illegal, particularly bad thoughts against your government. Ooh, that looks like a good one. Thanks so much, Derek C. Williams. I really appreciate it. And there is a pendulum out there for anybody that wants to grab on, speak up, speak out. If you got pain at the pump, if you've caught somebody in your neck of the woods trying to siphon your gas off, just let us know. Just let us know. So we're going to go ahead and switch gears right now. We're going to go over to Gruesome Newsome, or AKA Noodles, in California. We're going to go over because, they just keep coming up with a little bit more debauchery for you every time you look around. It never ends, right? I'm just, they focus on so much justice out there. It never ends. So we're going to go there. And like I said, there is a link out there for you if you are interested. Okay, so the liner that we're going to be looking at is coming from Press, California. It's a Newsome opens the door to infanticides. That's what I'm saying. Debauchery, he just keeps doing things. And then after a while, he'll deny it once it goes sour. They're always beholden to their progressives there. And they're running that state into the ground. It's already done. Stick a fork in that one. All right. So we're going to zoom in here. So what we have here is police could be sued for arresting baby killers. This is showing a penman of Greg Burt. Governor Gavin Newsom's Abortion Council dropped a legislative bombshell. The group of policymakers intend not only to codify the killing of unborn children throughout all 9 months of pregnancy, but to decriminalize killing newborns days or weeks after birth. Hang on a second. Who do we have here? It's Derek C. Williams. Derek, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. How are you on this Thursday? A little bit laggy here, but you'll be coming in soon. Let's see. Derek, are you still there? Let's see. I see I see you in the background there. Worst case, you can go out and come back in, and we'll make it work. So I'll just give Derek a chance to come back in here. But yes, there is a pendulum out there for those that are interested. So I'm going to keep going here. But yeah, let's keep going. I appreciate you guys so much. Okay, so we have the group of policymakers intend not only to codify the killing of unborn children throughout all 9 months of pregnancy, but to decriminalize killing newborns days or weeks after birth. Okay, the new language added to AB 2223 last week revealed the disturbing intent. The proposed legislation would shield a mother from civil and criminal charges for any, quote, actions or omissions related to her pregnancy, including miscarriage, stillbirth, or abortion, or perinatal death. All right, so Derek C. Williams. We're here. Let's see. Take your time. Take your time. We're here. Let's see. I'm going to go back a little bit. Luciano says that they're working on a chip to control your thoughts. The jerks just don't understand that you can't beat Mother Nature. Luciano also says that abortion is legal, but murdering a pregnant woman is considered a double murder. See how that works? Marty Lauderdale says, WTH, we are witnessing evil incarnate. OMG. Let's see. Luciano says Trump is suing Hitlery for the Russia collusion nonsense. And Marcy T says, wow. Marty Lauderdale says, horrific, barbaric, guilty. All right, we're going to keep going with that. That takes a strong stomach to deal with this particular headline. Let's see, who do I have? Oh, da-da-da. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Marcy T. Crocker, the
Look
Oracle.
how white I am now. White's the color of the century, right?
Right. You're going to be our all-occasion Oracle. White.
How come I'm so white?
I don't know. Where are you, Marcy T?
Here, let me see.
Where are you? You got lights, camera,
a little bit better.
Yeah,
white.
Lights, camera, action.
I couldn't find the link.
Okay, that's all right. Well, I'll keep dropping it if you guys need me to. But thank you, Marcy.
I know you guys didn't need me to come on here and say this, Autumn, but I'm going to anyway. That's deplorable. It's debauchery. How do they even put this up and put it with the straight face to the lawmakers?
Marcy?
Thank God I'm not a newborn.
Yeah, that's so sad. It's gross. It's more than, it's deplorable. You hit it on the head. Deplorable. It's demonic. It's satanic.
It is.
It's sacrificial. It's everything. Yeah, it's gross. So I'm gonna keep. Yeah, but Newsom, he's
also got new books on to make this on the childhood schedule for schools, including homeschooling. Remember, I told you Brian had a video up of 2 more laws that Newsom was putting up. That was one of them, to get it on the childhood shot.
Wow.
Thing. So you can't deny it. And then another one was from 5 to 12 or something like that, mandatory. But they care for the kiddies.
I know, that's all Pelosi talks about. That's all she ever talks about.
Here, I'll put this on for you, old deuce head. What's up, old deuce head? Now
I love it. It's pimp.
Well, I'm trying to condition my hair, and I got it all greased up, so that's why I do it for the day.
There you go. Well, yeah, they just keep coming out with these things. He's basically trying to make the state, dare I say, for the lack of a better word, a sanctuary for, or a haven for abortions. Like, that's going to be a place where people are coming because they can do what exactly.
Oh my God. That's horrifying to put it into words, isn't it? I wouldn't want to be there. What kind of people are there? Well,
but I told you, I was saying, the culture there is so, they're living their best unconscious life. Okay. I don't know if it's life that they're living, but they don't want to think. They don't want to think. People don't want to think. People don't want to feel. They just want to get high off of whatever debauchery that they can, whatever the quick fix is,
It's
no
like
responsibilities.
Well, they're going to get their wish come true if they don't stop and they don't wake up. You're going to be in your own little box about this big, and you're going to have your little cache over there of your roach milk, your freaking worm burger, and you're going to be watching the TV, tell lies to your vision, playing video games for your supper of roach milk and ant burger. So keep it up.
Well, I know. Let's see. Who we got? Oh, we got Uncool Paranoias here. Hi, Uncool.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing? Welcome in.
Thanks, Marcy. Appreciate that. How you doing, Black Spring? Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. Anytime. Thank you for coming on. I'm hanging around.
Absolutely. Marcy was texting me like, yeah, Black Spring's going on. Stop by. And I'm like, I've been so busy and tired with working. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so tired. I don't know what to do. But I had to come on and share my 2 cents with your stories. You're doing such an excellent job. But I just had to jump in and make a comment real quick.
Good. We
Come on.
wanted to,
We
too,
want
girl.
it.
The more
We
the
want it.
merrier. We need all the heads together.
Bring the
Right?
heat. Bring the
All right.
heat.
So I just wanted to make a comment about how you mentioned how Apple might be becoming like some kind of federally mandated or state kind of power as when it comes to like the digital verification and identification type stuff. So I was just thinking maybe like it fits so well with the symbolism considering the whole Apple, the forbidden fruit type deal. It just in how the very first Apple computer was $666.
Ooh. Come on.
And
Yeah,
then the
so-
last one was $999.99.
Right. So it fits so perfectly. It's like fitting like a big, huge puzzle piece into the Beast system. So everything is just coming into play. And when you had the image up of where you were showing the heart donor symbol of whatever, did you notice that the logo for it was a goat? You know, who's the goat, right?
No. I didn't
Yeah.
even notice that.
Yeah. So absolutely. I just had to point that out. Like all of the
my
symbolism is
God.
there. It all fits. You know, some people like to say, oh, that's conspiracy or that's blah, blah, blah. But there's truth to all of this because they can't help themselves. They have to implement their symbolism. They have to leave the breadcrumbs for us, with the Holy Spirit to be able to find out what's going on. They have to. That is how spiritual warfare works. They have to follow the rules of spiritual warfare because they don't have the ability to create on their own. They can only mimic and mock. They can only mimic and mock scripture. Yeah. So that's why.
Teach.
Kick
Yeah, so
that
that's-
devil's
so-
butt, girl.
Oh my gosh, you just totally just ripped that whole thing. I want to bring this whole thing back up again just because
I
of what
love
you
this
said.
girl,
I
man.
had totally like I was seeing it separately, but then you connected the dots. Okay, I'm gonna share it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another oracle on board, and that would be Uncool Paranoid. I absolutely love this channel, this personality, and this and the blessings that she's showering on us with the knowledge here. So here, what we have right now is
We got Wingnut here too. Hi, Wingnut.
Hey, what's going on?
What you got for us from Florida?
No, I'm just sitting here. I'm listening to a lot of it because I mean I've been talking about a lot of this stuff, man, and the process, the infrastructure that's been put in place to get it to this point. I mean, it's like I've been talking about this kind of stuff for a long time.
Well, look here. I'm just zooming in here. You guys see you see the goat here, and you got your apple over here. So not your apple, but your heart, and you got your goat over here. So you see, you're right. They're bringing it. They're giving it to us, right? They're showing it to us, right?
Yeah, it's all right here. It's all a part of I mean, you know how Hollywood calls their documents a script because they're mocking the scriptures. They're all working on a script. This is going according to prophecy. It is written. It will happen this way. So we've got the heart symbolism here. So we've got, true circumcision of the heart is true repentance. So this is just on the flip side. You've given your heart to them. That's their form of whatever, because they can't create. All they can do is mimic and flip it upside down. So I just want to share my thoughts on that. Like, that's crazy how they just got it all right there next to each other. That's wild, right?
Yeah, but I think you are blazing with this symbolism right here. And
with what she said, Autumn, with the apple, if you take the apple bitten and they do this, they take one side, you double it and put each image on either side of each other, those two apples make an alien.
Really?
The symbol. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gosh.
Aliens are interdimensional. They are the fallen angels, the fallen ones.
Demons. They're the demons.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, I'm very much more than blessed and refreshed to have you and Marcy T and Anarchy, the Right Wing Nut Radio on here. But thank you so much for sharing that, because I totally, like I said, you see it, we see, and then we don't see. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you guys,
Absolutely.
You got to learn their language before you can notice it. And if you notice, we found out they speak to each other in numbers and in symbolism. And
Absolutely.
then once you do that, you should see what wakes up in your mind. You're like, oh, and then everybody thinks you're crazy.
Everybody thinks you're a nut, and then you'll continuously put it all together because they stick to it. They never deviate from their language. Their language has been the same since the garden. The language has been the same.
Yeah. Lord God told us there's nothing new under the sun, because she absolutely uncool. I couldn't have said it better. He's a mimicker. He's not a creator.
Absolutely.
He's a mimicker. We're creators. The humans are. Women create life. So he's jealous, and all he can do is copy.
Absolutely. That's why the seed of the woman is under attack. So that leads us back into the children being murdered. Has to destroy the seed of the woman. Have to convert the DNA. Humanity has to be reborn in his image. So
that's why Gruesome's doing all that stuff against the children.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, you guys, I really appreciate this. Thank you so much, Uncool Paranoia. So stay as long as you like.
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and cut out of here. I got my kid with me. I'm cooking. I just want to share my thoughts. It was nice to speak to you guys. Thanks for having me on Wingnut. It was nice to speak to you too, man. And I'm out of here.
Bye.
Okay. Thanks.
Absolutely.
All right,
I'm
ladies and
sitting
gentlemen.
here. Look, Autumn, when you were on, I was sitting here, and my TV came on because I was going to watch something. I got to show you what came up here. Oh, man. I don't want to say it out loud, and I want to see if it's on the video, but they probably took it down by now. Anyway, there's a QR code up here, and it says, "We stand with you. You know what?" And it says, "Join us. Scan QR to help." And it's on the freestanding screen of my television. Look, I was going to watch a movie. Let me show you here.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, it's a campaign.
Right.
It's on everything.
Just like BLM. You remember you couldn't the kids couldn't play their Fortnites without that dropping right in on top of them.
You kidding me?
No,
I didn't know that. I wasn't looking at TV then. I just happened to have this one up in here.
Right. Well,
that's what it got me mad. So I made a video. I goes, "Where's this in my hood? There's people in my neighborhood. They're starving. They can't get gas. Where's our QR code?"
Wait. He also announced, there was an announcement earlier today that there's like $1 billion going to Ukraine as well, or is that an additional billion, or
that's
is that already
additional? What's his name and what's her name? They're married. What's the Hollywood? They made $30 million for the Ukraine. Kucher and his wife. And then they already sent them $10 billion, I think. I mean, this is the washing of money. I'll put it that way. And have we seen any real concrete evidence that there's even anything going on over there? All I've seen is videos to the contrary, that it's actually a Hollywood movie set over there right now.
Yeah, I saw that as well. And then you'll see, like, they'll have the child hanging on to the barnacle of something.
There are people doing live streams out there and videos. Yeah,
I saw
that live in that area.
Wow.
I saw a guy walking and he showed movie set. He also showed the bus station where they had them all crammed into a little room, and the whole other bus station in Kiev on March, was it March 8th? It started. They had them all in one little room, bottlenecking them so it would look more scary on the news, I guess.
All right.
I don't know.
I mean-
I don't believe anything they tell me.
Wag the dog, you know. I
Yeah.
mean,
Wow. Well, you know, what was it that I also saw in one of those clips that they basically did like a lockdown, right? They basically set up a
They locked
lockdown.
him down.
And then
Well-
so it's like the streets are, you know, clean because
there's a lot of stuff in play. I mean, you know, the UN and I mean not the UN. I mean the EU and NATO are, you know, what's really kind of pushing their agenda, and then the fiat currency, the petrodollar, and all that shit. And Russia's not really putting up with that kind of crap. He's like, no. He's actually, I think he implemented just something recently. I just saw a story on where he's like for fuel, for instance, any not savory countries out there that want to buy fuel, they're going to have to buy it. They're going to have to buy it with rubles and not the petrodollar. Which, you know, that's NATO and UN and EU and that, I mean, which we are part of NATO, or more majority of NATO when it comes down to that. Not we, I mean the government, or the corporation posing as the government. Technically,
Right.
it's not us. We don't have nothing to do with it. Same thing with the Russian people that live there. The governments
And
are doing
the
this shit.
Ukrainian people. This is them against all us. That's what
Yeah.
I see.
Well, yeah. I mean, and
They put us
yeah.
all on spot now, but
Yeah.
they're all high and mighty because they don't know what it means to go to the grocery store and have $10 and actually have to pick what you're going to get with that because you don't have any more,
Yeah.
because they have too much.
Yeah, I think it's time for them to be homeless and penniless.
Me
Maybe.
too.
I mean, that would be the better punishment than killing them. Actually, let them live homeless and penniless. You know, that would be perfect.
Drop them off in the woods
Yeah.
with a stick. No matches.
I mean,
I think me and Wingnut for president and vice president.
I will be the best overlord you ever had. I'm telling you, I would.
My first action would be, everybody's free. Go do what you want.
Wow. I don't know where this ends, you know, but we just keep coming up with these campaigns, and, you know, is GoFundMe even relevant anymore? You know, it looks like they've started other spinoffs on GoFundMe because somebody is trying to seize an arm of the state, ends up seizing the funds or circumventing the funds that can get to whoever. So I don't know. I don't support any of these campaigns.
No, I
Well,
won't either.
it's our labor that's funding this. All right, you know, it's being stolen from us. You know what I mean, in the form of taxes, and this is where it's going. And, you know, this argument is like, oh well, we wouldn't have roads and all that stuff. Well, what the, you know, do you understand where taxes and how much actually goes to roads? People don't even understand that. I mean, hell, I got two I guess, I don't know what to call it, big roads that's 4-laning out here, and it's taking forever just to 4-lane this sucker. You know what I mean? It's like they're just milking it, man. And it's never going to get done, it seems like. But the roads, it's very, I mean, actually gas tax is probably the only thing that actually really goes to the road systems, you know, upkeep and all this new stuff. But other than that, everything else goes everywhere else. You know what I mean?
Well, look at their bank accounts, how they've grown since they started in office. And then, say, Pelosi, for example, what she has now.
Yeah.
Tell me she's not guilty of insider everything.
Yeah. It's I mean, honestly, man, without trying to be crude or anything, we're in a modern day massive plantation right now. I
Yeah.
mean, we're just sitting there, we're just,
Right
and
on.
it's like business as usual to a lot of people too, because some people have a pretty comfortable living, you know what I mean, in this big, huge, you know, prison.
Yep.
And I mean, it's more like an economic prison. You know what I mean? It's more like it's all about monetary system. You know what I mean? Because that's where they put us all in debt, and they got all this debt now. It's like they keep on piling it on, piling it on, piling it on for the future generations that be made to pay for it. And so these people that supposedly write all this magic words on a magic piece of paper that we all must bow down to after they write it. You know what I mean? Or with the threat of violence. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
And stealing, robbing,
yeah,
taking,
yeah. I mean,
and it's
eminent
all
domain.
okay, right? No, it isn't. And
Like,
here's the thing: they were never gonna have this what they're doing right now because it's the NWO. They're stopping that. I heard by September 22 is when the dollar bill is going to be obsolete, and they started it yesterday doing something there.
well, that's
I
why
got
one
no
of the
reason.
other reasons why they're so pushing this digital format. You know what I mean? Because they want to do the digital currency also. All right,
Yes,
all right, because they can keep this Ponzi scheme going. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um,
But they're going to steal right when they do this. Don't you see that they're going to take these people's money and what's going to happen to these people?
well, they've already done that already. They've
But they're
showed the
going to
proof.
take these richer ones stuff. These people that think they're not being touched right now.
Oh, I know. I mean, they think they're untouchable. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. It's like, when the average person loses everything, like their family and their livelihood, and got nothing left to lose, they're gonna hunt these people down, dude. You know what I
Well,
mean?
haven't we been
Yeah,
hearing about bunkers
yeah,
Oh yeah.
being,
Yeah, it won't matter.
I think
I
I
don't
think
think so. I really don't. I really don't. I mean, that's just my gut feeling. I really don't think it's gonna matter. Because honestly, this is what my gut tells me, and my gut never lies to me. So, I mean, this is what my gut tells me. They really are going to unleash the chaos. I mean, and it's going to be big, and it's going to be freaking crazy. But the chaos is going to envelop them. It's going to actually turn on them, and they don't realize that. But it's going to turn on them and kill them off in a
you
sense,
can't
or
see it. Can you?
Oh, I see. If the people were to ever find out what we have done, see, it's the glare, Marcy. It's the
Man, I'm
glow.
trying to
It's your
get
glare. I know.
Chill.
the
It says if the people were to ever find out what we have done, we'd be chased down the streets and lynched. George H.W.
yeah.
Hi, angry conservative. Thank you so much for coming on. He's shouting us out, guys.
Yeah.
To a White House
Good
reporter,
evening.
Sarah McClendon, 1992. He said that.
What a deal.
Man, now I'm sweating to death.
Hubristic. What a hubristic deal.
Yeah, hubristic. These
Hubristic.
I did a paper on that. That's the only reason I know how to say it.
There you go. You took your time with it.
I was like, Uber. No.
Oh wow. But yeah, this stuff is intense. I think it's in our faces right about now. It's all.
That's why a lot of people, especially a lot of these prepper channels, are really getting hot and heavy. Just like you guys you need to pay attention. See, a lot of people have been talking about this for years, for like 20 some odd years or more. You know what I mean? When it comes down to a lot of this stuff, they can see for me, it was like I can see the dominoes stacking up, and all it needed was that little nudge. You know what I'm saying? And then you see how dominoes, when they fall, when they get that nudge and they get that little fall, it's like it's continuous, and it just keeps
Right.
on going. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's nothing stopping it unless somebody pulls a brick out of the way. You know what I mean? Or pulls one of the. You know what I'm saying? That's where it's at, in my opinion. We're on a train going downhill with no brakes. That's where we're at. You know what I mean? The the thing is like how do we like, in a sense, derail this train back to where we needed to go without killing all of us? You know what I'm saying?
We all got to stick our feet under, like
I'm
Fred
just saying, you know, if you were to, like, you think about it, that's about what
Right.
this whole thing is going down, and it's worldwide. This is not just in this country; it's
Right.
worldwide. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing, because you know, and that's trying to get other people. See, we've only had, let's say, a little over 300 years of indoctrination. There's some other countries that have had it for about 1,000 or more. All right, it's harder for them to really grasp this lie that all of us have been told for all our lives. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we were absolutely lied to,
Yep.
and then,
That's
but
why
that
we'll
you can't
never
you
go
can't you
back.
can't really you can't in some ways you can't really blame your parents and your grandparents and all that stuff, because they were lied to too, and they believed it as the truth, and they told it because they thought it was the truth. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
It was for us to discover. Our parents, there's no way that even my sister who passed away, she was a year younger than me in 16. She had no clue to what we really lived in. I didn't find out till after 16. And that's because I was studying. I threw myself into this though, because I was like, something isn't right here. I did everything I was supposed to, yet I'm not happy. Yet it's not working out correctly. Yet everything's going wrong. And that's when
Yeah.
I just said, forget it. I'm falling. I got to figure out what's going on, because I have to have it in my heart, in order to live. I was lost. I'm like, what is going on here? And when I found it, I'm so glad you guys are finding it with me, though. I really am. Praise God that He's got us all here doing this at the same time.
Well,
All of
Marcy, you are certainly, you're a blessing to us all. You're a blessing to this channel, and like you guys are really like, you guys are blazing. You guys are on fire tonight, as
I
always.
love everybody that comes here.
Yeah,
We all need
Autumn,
to hug each other.
Autumn, I really appreciate you. I really do. I mean, you
I
know,
do
honestly,
too.
I'm glad I found you out here, because I mean, I'm all over YouTube. In my mind, what I do is I try to find all the, it's trying to find the forest through the trees type of thing.
Mhm.
And it's like I'm just trying to like find all the good people, and I mean, I'm glad I found you out there. So
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
like
you know,
you
Same
too,
to
Mayna.
you.
I
yeah,
really enjoy
I
your
mean,
videos when I watch like your rummage sale and when you
yeah,
had your dog and you're
yeah.
camping and stuff. I really enjoy that.
Right on, right on.
absolutely. Well, you're a jewel. You're highly respected around here. I mean, like I've been following you for a while. I love to watch, craftsmanship. I love to watch your streams, your perspective, and internationally, it's nice to hear from other people that are dealing with the same. They're just as frustrated as we are. This is a
Dude,
global.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like when I've had some of the backstage type talks, you know,
Mhm.
like on StreamYard, you know, where we can like, you know, when we cut down this, when we stop the live stream and we're just sitting backstage, dude. I've had some I mean, shoot, I probably should have gotten paid for it, you know, as a therapist, because I've had some really deep conversations with some guys one on one and worldwide. Like I mean, I was sitting there talking to a guy in Wales, and some of the stuff that he's having to deal with when it's just like some of the lockdowns. He's been locked down for freaking almost a year. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just really,
That's
and now they're
awesome, though.
like trying to force refugees from Ukraine over into Wales,
And
and
they're
Yeah.
coming here too,
Here's the thing.
but
They're
I mean,
trying.
like, but they're like trying to force them into people's homes. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna like have to put them
Oh,
up. You know, that kind of thing. So I mean, it's
They can
weird.
do that here too. Do you know about 6 years ago, I rented an apartment and it had an eminent domain clause in it. And I knew something was up. I'm like, eminent domain? Why they got
Whoa.
eminent domain in here?
Yeah. Well,
Where'd you see that
It was in my apartment complex
at?
in the contract that I had to sign. If the Army came in and they demanded that apartment, we were all to get out.
that's against the Third Amendment right there.
But
I mean, that's against the Third
had it
Amendment.
in there, and it
If
was
I'm not
in 2000
mistaken, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, the Third Amendment, and we have the right to not harbor any
right? No,
military.
give no quarter, right?
Yeah, give no. Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well,
But
you know, we
they
talked
have
about
it in
that.
there now. Well, look at what they're doing to free speech.
We talked about that
Not
the other
free
night.
speech.
You know, we talked about that the other night about how this is more infiltration, because even the people
Right.
that are going into France as saying, claiming that they're Ukrainian refugees, they are turning out to be Algerians, Moroccans, you name it.
Right.
And France is already, you know, pretty much, you know, it's a different place now, you know, but who's looking at our border? How much infiltration is going on down there?
Well, you know who's down there? Cackling Cam.
Doors wide open. Doors wide
Cackling
open.
Camels down there. Come on in, guys. Come on.
I mean, it's there's some people that are doing like the like videos and live streams and stuff down there on the border, and there's some spots, man, it's just gotten really bad. You know, it's like some of the trails and stuff that were like little tiny trail, like little, like almost like deer trails. Now they're like massive highways with trash all
Oh
along it. You know
my
what I mean?
God.
It's crazy. You know what I mean?
That's awful.
It's like highways now. You know? I mean, I don't. It's like a wide open door. You know, it's like you in your home. I mean, just think of it as a national thing. You know, it's like this is all of our
Marty, love
home.
you, girl.
You know what I mean? Do you keep your door wide open for anybody to just walk in? You know what I mean? No. Why should we do that on a national scenario? You know what I mean?
That's it, you know. But nothing.
If we're
you
all
know,
supposedly a union, you know, like a United America, if we are, you know what I mean? Otherwise, it's really got up to do with the southern states, you know, they have to defend it. Otherwise, you know what I mean? Who else is going to pitch in? You know what I mean?
Wingnut, what do you think about if they, you know, do what they're saying? This attack is coming on our communications.
Right.
Because me and Autumn have been talking backstage basically, and we're trying to figure out, you know, she's like, well, how are we going to meet? How are we going to find each other when shit hits the fan, basically, with no communication? I'm saying, like, is there any, we need to find a place where we can all meet in the years. I don't know.
Or we need Morse code. We need our own language.
Well, I mean, there are other ways. I mean, you can use old radio technology or whatever. I mean, you know, it depends on the situation. Depends on what's going on. You know what I mean? Because honestly, it might not be feasible to go long distances. You know what I mean? You might not be able to go very far. You might not be able to go anywhere except for where your feet could take you. You never know. I mean, you might not have the luxury. You might not have the luxury of a vehicle. You know what I mean?
Well, we got to get together before they do this.
But I'm saying, I'm just saying, there is that possibility. I mean, you know, you never know what could happen. I mean, if you put it this way, if they keep on poking the bear up there, and then they start messing around with, because China wants to actually take down Taiwan and bring it back into the fold. And if the Americans get in, the American forces are good, well, our boys and girls just following orders, go over there and mess around with that too. At the same time, when this is going on and poking the bear up there, I mean, seriously. I mean, it's almost mind-boggling what could possibly come, you know, just like, you know, the scenarios that could come out of that. You know what I mean? Especially if you start poking the bears on both sides, and they might be like, "Hey, why don't we just like take a temporary truce and gang up on this, you know, sucker?" You know what I mean? That's poking their nose into everybody's business. You know what I'm saying? And that could be us.
That is us. It's like this
I
is
mean,
what's
that's
so
that's the
unbelievable.
problem. That's the
We've been
problem.
doing it for many, many years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when it comes
And
down
now
to, see,
all of
that's
a
the thing.
sudden you guys are innocent.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like, we've been like hoodwinked and bred into this system to the point where we're just we labor to earn this income to pay for this, and
Yeah,
this is what's being done, and this is what's being done with it. All right, and
that's
these are
sad.
the ones that are in control that are doing this. You know what I'm saying? They don't really care about our lives. See, we're like collateral damage to them. You know what I mean? As long they're going to fight tooth and nail to try and keep their power and keep that. Like, for instance, do, like, what was it? I saw the story, but it was like Gaddafi, and was it down there in Cuba, when they tried to go off the petrodollar and use their own currency, man, they got knocked out. They got
Yeah,
assassinated.
Saddam did,
Right.
Gaddafi
Yeah,
did,
exactly. Yeah. And
and
then
then back in the day, Cuba.
yeah. So now with this move that Russia did, now if they keep on with the same track record, there is that possibility. Be like, hey, they're going to try and take him out, so they can keep the petrodollar instead of going to the ruble and making, being forced to use the ruble to buy fuel from them, because that's the start. Whatever supplies or whatever thing, anything we get out of Russia, which they don't produce a whole lot, but I mean, whatever we get out of it, when it comes down to their fuel
I
or
heard
anything else,
3% is
it
all, so we shouldn't even be feeling this as far as I can see.
well, see, this was all planned in the first place. That's the thing. This whole
Yeah,
thing
you
was
come in
this
office
whole
and
damn
turn
thing was
off
planned
a
in the first place.
pipeline. Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was all done in the first place because honestly, man, if you really go way back and stuff, when it comes down to this debt altogether, um, they
Nixon.
they they put we the people as collateral or a surety for that debt,
Yeah,
without our consent, without our
$50 a
knowledge.
head.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just, in my opinion, that's wrong, and that's like against our just being human. You know what
It
I
is.
mean? It's slavery in
Mhm.
an economic way. In a
That's
sense, and
what
it's
me and
like,
Autumn were talking about.
and
We
with the
were
threat of
saying,
violence and death, because I mean,
yeah,
honestly, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what it is. All taxation is theft.
it
You know
is.
what I mean?
Hmm.
Now, if I want to donate to something, that's be my prerogative. That'd be cool. It'd be like, for instance, like I like my road a little bit cleared off. Well, maybe I'll be willing to like pay some money. Hey, can you go out there and sweep it off for me or clean it or whatever, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? I'll be willing to do that. You know what I mean? But I don't want to be forced at gunpoint to do it.
Well, it
Especially,
looks like they owe us a lot because the tax money that we give goes into the military industrial complex.
oh yeah.
They build these weapons of mass destruction, sell them worldwide. Where's our cut? Autumn, turn the mic on, honey. I'm sorry, I'm getting mad
you
because
see why I keep you around?
just like with the mocktails, we
Well,
gave
see,
them the money. Where's our cut with that 36 billion you
and they're
were
gonna
talking
they're
about?
that's not going away. They're gonna try and keep that going too, man, until something like big happens, which they're gonna
Give
be a
us our
big
money.
something.
Give us our cut.
Yeah. Like I
You
said, if they
owe
keep on
us.
pushing stuff, next thing you know, people will start defending themselves, and then it
Yeah.
could be the red flag event. That could be also be possible because they're setting a lot of stuff up right now. I can see the stage being set for a lot of like a red flag event. So be aware if you see something like that kind of shit. That's exactly what's going on. Don't doubt yourself. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just because that's. I mean, they're already setting it up, dude. They're already setting it up. I mean, and There's something like, for instance, my gut tells me, you think about it, like what was implemented when the towers went down, and the Homeland Security and the Patriot Act. All right, all they need is some kind of big act, some huge thing, supposedly brings everybody together. Next thing you know, they got all these new measures that were totally against our civil rights and all of that. Just puts us in prisons even further. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yes.
all that's necessary to happen. All right. So they're just setting the stage for this whole thing to go blow up.
We were
You
talking
see?
about this earlier about just like we're just primed and groomed to be enslaved. Like everything, yeah, everything. We're like I was talking about the pastor. He said, "Starve the beast system." You know, he said that even during Christmas. Stop going out here buying your kids these PS5s and these big items. You guys are feeding this system that's crumbling, around you, and that they're fleecing you. You starve it, but they're ready to do it now with the electric cars, $30,000 to $80,000 vehicles. Who can afford that?
Well, that's another thing too. I was sitting there talking to somebody about that today, because actually me and a friend of mine we're thinking about building one. But the thing is, it's like, where are they going to come up with all this power? I mean, there's some cities and some states, man, that actually have rolling blackouts as it is now. You know what I mean? And then
Now
freaking,
you're getting it.
I mean, where's this power?
They don't
Okay,
want
like,
nobody to drive.
what are they going to put a sticker on the side of the electric car? It says, the electric car is powered by coal. You know what I mean? Or nuclear or something or whatever. You know what I mean? Because where's the electricity coming from? I mean, it's not going to come from wind farms, because they're dying out. They keep on breaking down. They keep on blowing up or whatever. And hardly
You're right,
there's a
man.
lot of times where those things aren't even spinning. You know what I mean? You're not going to get them from solar, because a lot of those solar farms can't even keep a city size of Los Angeles powered. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just not feasible, because it's just not, the technology's not right for that. Where is the
would you
power going to
call
come
it,
from?
Wingnut? Would you
Especially
call
if you start adding more everybody to have an electric car. You
would
think
you
about
call
it.
it the emperor has no clothes? And if we see that he don't
Yeah,
have clothes, they're gonna say we're crazy and kick us out.
Well, of course they're going to try. We're
It's like the
expendable,
emperor has no
Marcy.
clothes. These
We're
electric cars aren't gonna make it. Okay, we know this.
I
We
hear
know
you.
what your real deal is.
I hear you.
Tell us the truth.
That's what I'm saying, and it's like, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I've said this before, and a lot of people think I'm crazy.
No, you're not.
Most people will not really realize how bad it really is until they start seeing the robots going down the street, killing people, and the drones are overhead.
Oh
I mean,
man, that's bad.
then maybe it might click in their head and go have that oh crap moment. But by then it's already almost too late. All right.
Right,
But the thing
as
is,
I'm
that's the
dying,
thing.
you mean?
This
As
is
I'm
this is
going
one
to
of,
the ground. You were right, Marcy. You weren't crazy.
well, you know what? I mean, the thing is, see, I've had that conversation with a friend of mine. This was, I don't know, about 6 or 7 years ago or something like that. I was telling him some stuff I was researching and blah 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 blah. He thought I was loopy. He thought I was nuts. All right. Well, about 4 years later, he hears it on the mainstream news and this local talk radio station that we would listen to. And he's like, "Hey, Wingnut, man, that stuff you were talking about, man, that was right, all this stuff." And I was like, "Well, no kidding. I mean, well, just because it came out of my mouth that wasn't credible, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, the thing is like, there's some things that I dove into. Yes, there were some things that were just like didn't lead anywhere, but then there was other things that, kind of I dove into that just like, and then I've been watching, since. Like, I'll give you an example, like that Sophia robot. Now, she first came, that robot came back online on, like, was it 2016? So I've been watching that since. All right, and watching it evolve. That's just one aspect. And then you get into all that other stuff, man, that comes in line with it. You know what I mean? Because all that stuff's connected. You know what I mean? Because you get the stuff when it comes down to the fifth
Neural,
generation, the sixth
neural
generation
link.
cell. Yeah,
They
exact.
want to
So
put it into you
yeah,
yourself to
exactly,
raise your
exactly. Because they
skull.
need. That's why they need that fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth generation cell network type stuff. Because they need that broad
Wow.
bandwidth to keep everybody connected, and that's another reason why the nanotechnologies and some of the stuff in the arm, that kind of stuff, because that can be connected Wi-Fi or Bluetooth to your phone, which
Mhm.
actually can have, it already has apps. It's a health app that you can't delete off your phone, especially get the new ones. It's got a health app, and it's probably on especially on new phones. This is an app you can't even get delete, but that's always on there, and that will be able to connect to your phone, and you can get like your heart rate. You were talking about Black Spring. You can get all your vitals and blah blah blah. Like for instance, you tripped how many times today? You know what I mean?
You're right. Well, see, to me, the other person that's speaking openly about this, and he's a real person, is Schwab.
Right.
Schwab
Yeah.
talks about all of
Mhm.
these trends
Yep.
that are,
That
that they want. They want to be able
And
to
he wrote the
protect
book
you.
on.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he wrote it. He wrote the book. And he's also high-fiving the Trudeaus and the cabinets that he says that they have
And
infiltrated.
the Poutines.
Mhm.
Oh
He
my gosh.
was. And
I
yet
mean,
they don't believe you still. Oh, no. Yeah.
I mean, you got to understand, all these people talk to each other. Like, you don't think, who do you think is on speed dial with Putin, for instance?
Schwab.
I mean,
Probably.
it's not going to be it's not going to be freaking Tupac. You know what I mean? I seriously doubt it. It's like, well, because you think what's his name over in China? He likes what's it, Dennis Rodman? I bet he's on speed dial.
Oh, no, that's Korea. North Korea likes
North
Dennis
Korea, North
Rodman.
Korea. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Jinping, whatever his name is. I don't know anybody. Biden likes him and Trudeau likes him.
Well, it's not. We're I don't know when is the big band going to be turned on? When are they going to hit the big switch?
I heard April 1st.
That's a good question. That's a good
April
question.
1st, because my roommate, they called him from T-Mobile and told him he had to upgrade his phone system for April 1st, else his phone wouldn't work. So see, they force you to get their stuff so they can do this to you.
Right.
Well, your phone won't work if you don't get it now. So he goes and gets one.
Well, see, I've been trying to see. I'm a visual type of person. I like to I'm a hands-on type of.
Hey, look, most men are visual
Well,
and hands-on.
All right. Well, I was sitting there thinking about, like, for instance, the chess game. You know what I mean? You got a chessboard and the chess game and all that stuff. And the option or the thing is, like, you have to take the queen down, right? That's your whole objective in a sense. From one side to the other.
Most
All right.
people can't play chess though, Wingnut. Just to
All
let
right.
you know.
But anyway, I was sitting there thinking about it. Instead of using the chessboard, replacing with like a flat world map, and you got those pieces that are still there, all right, and they're representing the different big governments and stuff like that. All right, now if somebody was wanting to make a big move, where would all those pieces have to be? You get what I'm saying when I say that, when I'm asking that? You think about it. If you were wanting to make a big move and take down take down the queen, and you had to think like a couple of steps ahead and have all your pieces in the right place just to do this, how would that look? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's like, for instance, like where ships are or where airplanes are, what type of movements are happening in this country, what's happening over there at the same time, and all these pieces and places. It's got to have like all the right stuff in the right place for this big move to happen, which is going to happen. But
But
when?
see,
It's a
they
good question.
block all the communications off.
That's one of the first things when it comes down to, if they go in and they want to do like a invasion. You know what I mean? They have to take down the communications. That's one of the first things. All right,
Yep,
and that's
that's
where
why
the
it's
truth.
hard. It would be
That's
hard for us to see all that because they're lying.
right. Well, that's why truth becomes one of the first casualties
Right.
of a war scenario. We're in a war. If people don't understand that or are not aware of that, we are in a
Because
war.
they
A
don't
world,
understand the waiting
world.
war of
Yeah,
attrition.
yeah, war. I mean, like for real. Like it's not. We're not trading bullets at the moment yet.
No, but it started, I think, March, what was it? Friday the 13th, 2020. That's when the war started.
I can't remember.
We
I got it
thought,
marked on the calendar actually. If you want to know,
yeah, that
Marcy.
was when he said we were locked down.
When he said a national emergency, yeah.
Yeah,
He
that was March 13th, Friday the 13th, 2020. And
Well,
that's
you
how
of
long.
course do you remember this one? If you remember that, then I think we're constantly in one of these. If you don't remember this, what do you call it? Is it a tabletop?
This matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here to get this
right. Right. Yeah, exactly. Now that order, once that went live, as it was uttered out, there was a lot of stuff that got that was the go code. All right. Now that was and that's their way of giving us notice live
And
or
that
on the
was
TV
also,
and
they
stuff.
told you that day who is in charge, and it wasn't TRUM.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it isn't BIE right now.
It never was. It
It's
never was. I mean,
FDMA.
that's, he was just in the way. He was making it difficult. He was a monkey wrench, which I think all of us and individually, if we could somehow in a way put a monkey wrench in this whole thing too.
Oh man, I'd be throwing them at him. I'd be
Well, I
at the
mean,
White House at the fence, bam, throwing that at them.
it's just like,
Wrenching.
well, I mean, there's this is a, you gotta think about it, it's like this whole, it's a machine. Now, if you throw a monkey wrench in the machine, it could stop the whole damn thing.
Good.
You know what I mean? Now, there's a way to do it. I'm just not. I'm the only way I can do it is just by talking about it. That's the only way I know how to do it. I'm not that guy to go out there and I'm not some special ops guy or something like that where I can go out there and go do this stuff like GI Joe stuff. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I'd
And
like
save the world from the evil. You know what I mean? I'm not that guy, but I mean, there are people out there that do have those skills and they do have those knowledge and they do have that finance. And
Yeah, where
I don't
are
know if
they?
I don't know if they're actually doing it yet, or I mean, if they already have. But I mean, honestly, uh, if I go to like movies and stuff, I like the movie The Punisher. I mean, gosh, we need like millions of those guys going after the people that really need it, that really deserve it. You know what I mean? That's been put. I mean, just by this, by writing some stupid stuff on a piece of paper, millions of lives get
Yeah.
affected. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just
I
like
have
that.
I have a breaking clip for you guys coming in hot right now. Are you guys ready? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Hi, DJ Vision. Love
Hi,
you,
DJ. Okay, let me show you this. Have you guys seen this? Okay, that's that other little segment that I would do. Let me try to blow it up for you guys. Lack of a better word here. All right, so this is. Let me see if I can blow this thing up. If I can't,
it's not just imposed upon Russia. It's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country as well. With regard to food shortages, yes, we did so talk about food shortages. And it's going to be real. The price of these sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia. It's imposed
really?
on other countries as well, including European countries and our country as well.
All right, you see what I'm talking about, 411?
So
I'm talking about.
He's giving you notice that there was going to be a food shortage, and I'm going to tell you something. I know a lot of people have been talking about this, but yeah, I mean, this is coming. I mean, this is what they're giving you notice right now on that public view that there's going to be food shortages. All right, and there's already sanctions. There's already sanctions on Russia right now. All right, and then he's adding more. This is an act of war.
Just knock it off.
It's an act of war. That's how Putin considers sanctions. It's an act of war. It's aggression. It's cutting you off with supplies and cutting you off from finance. You know what I'm saying? It's an act of war to them. So I mean, you're just you're poking the bear. All right.
And we
I
don't
mean,
want war. We
and
don't
they've
want
already asked for assistance from China. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure exactly what China is going to assist them with.
Who asked for assistance?
Putin.
Yeah, he got it too, I think.
Hi, DJ Vision Barnett. But yeah, it's this is why we're talking about the critical, like Marcy T was saying. I think if we need like a 411 kind of, a potluck.
Let me ask you there, Autumn, when it comes down to it, in your local area, what kind of people do you have any people that are, I mean, what would be if you had a litmus test of your average people around your neighborhood, around your area, like in your local town or within your county, for instance, what's your vibe? I mean,
they're liberals. They're liberals, they're progressives, and these are places that are, historically, they're not they were not rooted in these ideologies or what they're following now, but it's out of fear. These people have been converted out of fear to follow what they're doing right now. So I'm not really looking to, I still don't have the kind of connections that I think I should have in, this particular area. And I need to do much better with that. And I think I'm going to have to go more of a, for lack of a better word, underground to kind of get that, because, you kind of softball people just to, a lot of people are like-minded, but are they forward? Or do they have the,
let me ask you this also on the social network scenarios. Like, have you been able to, are you on that where you're able to connect with people in your local area, like-minded type people? Have you ever done that? I mean, for instance,
I have not been able to. I think some people are more talk than they are. I really think a lot of people don't have the big picture. I think that these people still think that, they get up and say, oh, it's a beautiful day, and then they go skipping along, but they think that they are spiritually where they need to be, but then they're very much lost. They're still of this world, is what I'm saying. I think there's too many people that are just they're still so a part of that. They can't get past that, so they can't see anything. There's a couple of different kind of blinders on people. There's not the same, it's not the same one. But no, I have not. People are afraid to talk to each other, Wingnut, at the gas station.
Still wearing masks and stuff like that.
Well, not, no, a lot of them are not.
Okay.
But I'm saying
they are here in Michigan, and
there are some. Okay, I don't want to.
It's like, I want to knock it off their face.
There are some that are still wearing them in cars and everything.
Yeah, by themselves.
But at the gas station, I just started to say, "Don't you love these gas prices?" And that to me is enough of a softball. Either you get a laugh or you get, they start talking, and people don't want to talk to each other. People don't want to talk to other human beings because things are so polarized.
Exactly.
It's almost dangerous to even say. I think people are afraid to talk to each other.
Yeah, right. There's some places, man. It's up to $4.29.
Sure.
I mean, that's for regular. You know what I mean? And right. I mean, I think the cheapest that I can find around here is like $4.19 a gallon, but that's still freaking high. I mean, $20, that's less than 5 gallons, man. I mean, you know what I mean? You think about $100. I mean, $100 would just, it will get my tank full for $100. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like that's $100 bill to get my tank full.
Well, I'm sorry to say that I have not been able to connect with people because people are not open about how they feel or about what they think. They don't want to talk about what they think because they're afraid
Oh wait, let me read
they're afraid of people's reactions. And this one
Yeah,
lady told me, she says, she knows what she's up on where she needs to be, but she says that she doesn't really talk to
Well,
people.
what's people going to do when a damn gallon of or a gallon of milk is $5 or something like
No,
that?
when
you
it's
know?
$11, what the truck driver said.
They're gonna say,
Yeah, well, there you go.
they're
There
gonna
you
say,
go.
we're
Listen.
sticking, they're gonna say we're sticking it to Pootie.
Well, I mean, you
I
know,
got this thing I want to read to you guys. Listen. The hardest part of being awake or being aware that you're living in a decaying society is knowing that no matter how much information you share with your friends about the corrupt government, the dissemination of our liberties and environment, 87% won't care until it's too late. And only then will they wonder how we allowed it to happen. Is that not truth or what? Speaking
Well, it
of,
is.
these people don't want to talk. No, they're not
This
going to
lady,
want
she
to
told
talk.
me, this
Knocked out.
lady, if I were to do any type of on the ground kind of journalism and just went from pump to pump, I think I
Dude.
get a real picture of, and
Like
these are people that don't, they will tell you, these are people that know a lot of what we're talking about, but even
well, like
they
a
don't wanna talk.
person on the street type of interview type of thing or whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, I mean, I've seen some people do that, man. Actually, it's pretty interesting, man. What, you know, like there's a lot of people that just don't know certain basic things. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. Me. I mean, I remember when I was going through school, we were taught the Constitution existed. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much as far as it went. You know, pretty
That's it
much.
too with me too. You're right.
You know what I mean? And you know, everybody ever that I had done when it comes down
There's
to
a
actually,
constitution, but you don't need to know what's in it.
yeah, and you know what I mean? Exactly. You know what I mean?
That way
Because
we can pull the wool over your eyes. Sorry,
Well,
Wayne.
most
give-
people
I'll
don't. They don't
well, I mean,
know.
I'll give you another example on that end of it because I mean, I'm still very, you know, I watch a lot of, I keep up with a lot of these guys that are doing these First Amendment audits and stuff like that, and you know, cop watching or whatever.
I do
All
too. I
right,
like
now, and there was this one guy, man. He actually, you know, he went and started quizzing different cops and stuff in different areas and stuff, just on certain things when it comes down to the our Constitution, and people they don't know the very thing that they took an oath to protect. They don't even know that. They don't even know the first. They don't even know technically what the second says. They know of it, you know what I mean, because they think it's all about, you know, guns and stuff. You know what I mean? But the thing is like, hell, you know, you think about it. If you don't know your rights or what's under the Bill of Rights, for instance, and these people that are supposed to protect them don't even know them, how can they protect them?
right.
I mean, and if people don't even know what they are, how would they know if they're being violated? You know what I mean? You're muted, Autumn.
All right, we need a universal symbol for me being muted. So
This Autumn. We'll just do that. Like in diving, you okay? Yeah, I'm okay.
Thanks, Marcy T. I can count on you.
That's the only sign and symbol I knew. I remember. Yeah, okay, like this, you underwater. Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yes,
it's, you know, a lot of them don't. It's like people don't really care about what they don't know. Like thinking is,
Yeah, ignorance is
rather
bliss.
they would rather eat
What I
dirt.
just read, they're not gonna. 87 ain't gonna care until they're dying,
Well,
and then they're gonna say, "How did I let that happen?"
Well, that's the reason why I say, you know, is as far out that it sounds when it comes down to the robot scenario, as far out as it sounds, it's the same thing what I'm talking about. People will really won't have that oh crap moment until it's already too freaking late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
When
a
that
lot of
robot,
people
you're
won't.
right, going down
A
the
lot of
street
people
shooting
won't.
at 'em.
You know what I mean? And
I'm
that's
gonna be
the thing.
laughing in my
But
house.
it's just a matter of like, okay, yes, I understand there's a lot to it, and it's very mind-boggling. They do that on purpose. That is all but done by design to keep us all confused, because they don't want us knowing the truth. They sprinkle a little truth in there, but the rest of it's all lies. All right. In my mind, that makes the whole damn thing a lie. But the thing is they sprinkle a little truth in there to get people to believing in things, because people can recognize the truth. People can recognize, but there's a lot of people out there can be fooled very easily. And I trust me, I have been one of them. I know from experience that it can happen.
Me too.
All right. And we've all been for generations, man. I mean, many generations. Like I said, in this country, about 300 some odd years. Other countries,
The blind
about
leading the
about 1,000 or more. You know what I mean? They've been
That's
indoctrinated
good.
into this king monarchy type of scenario. You know what I mean? They still bow down to this, like to this family that are supposedly godlike, or have the hotline to God. You know what I mean? I mean, because you think about it, that's where they think that they got their royal lineage, is because they had like a 1-800 number to freaking God or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they messed us up good with that one there. Oh, we
I
got
mean,
blue blood.
but that's the
We
thing. It's like,
lizard blood, Lizzie's lizards.
and people have been bowing down to these people for
Forever.
generations.
Hey,
Well,
I've done it.
Well, what I would like to
I
do
thought
is
the
I really,
president was somebody real.
well, once again, I really appreciate you guys so much for coming on. It's been
Autumn,
I thank you very much.
Thanks, Wingnut, for coming on here and bringing
yeah,
some
yeah.
testosterone.
Well,
Because
I,
we
I,
like testosterone.
I saw I saw it needed a guy, and I see it needed a guy on there, but I wanted to hear what was it
Cool paranoia.
Uncool.
Uncold Paranoia. That's the first time I've ever heard her, so I just wanted to,
She's
I actually just
She's
subbed to
my
her
buddy.
today.
she's the real
I put
deal.
her on over here.
Yeah,
She's my
I just
girl, man. I
yeah,
met her on
I just
Casey
subbed, so
channel
I'll be watching there. I'll be
Oh
going through
yeah.
some of the old stuff. You know what I mean? So
on Entered the
um,
Stars. She goes. She has
I
her
like
own
that.
channel.
I'm always looking around for the good ones out there. You know what I mean? So I'm always wandering around, and I'll look around.
Well,
I
I'm
But
happy
get
to
on there.
bring you
I
guys
meet
here.
people in
yeah,
chats now. I
well,
meet
that's the
my
thing.
new friends in chats on
Well, see, that's
YouTube.
the reason why I was saying that, Autumn, because I mean, on like-minded scenarios, even me, I've been able to not necessarily, I haven't been able to like face to face meet him yet, but I've met people here in my local area through YouTube. All
Wow.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, and on like-minded type scenarios,
yeah.
the stuff that I'm interested in. So, I mean, that's the reason why I was asking about the social network. I know you're on a few of them. I mean, there's ways probably to kind of like
I
find
met a lot of
others.
good girlfriends
You know
on
what I
here
mean?
that I
You
speak
never
with.
know. You also be wary and all that
Hmm.
other stuff. But you know what I mean? There are ways, and that's the reason why. I mean, there are some things that, because life gets in the way. The only reason why I haven't met some of these people like face to face, but there are other people that I have met that are not even from here that just happen to be passing through, and I got to meet. You know what I mean? And it's through YouTube. It's like, because I've been watching for a while, man. You know what I mean? I'm always around. I might not always comment, but I'm always kind of like
I
watching.
see you. I see you when I see you come in.
Yeah,
I see you come in. I mean, I appreciate it. Even if you're not, because sometimes I'm out of pocket myself, but I'm tuned in. And to me, those are some of the best streams are the ones
yeah,
that I'm not there. I'm
yeah.
not in the zone to comment on, or I'm not,
Right.
I can't tag in. So, but
Yeah.
I appreciate what you're doing, and thank you for what you do, because we're survivors, I think, right now.
I'm gonna, ride it till the wheels fall off, Autumn. I mean, for real. I mean, why not? I mean, honestly, honestly, I just started, just because I was trying to like broaden. I'm not trying to have like a whole bunch of social network type stuff, but so I was only on YouTube, but I kind of just started a Discord thing too, just so I can kind of like, spread more information out on a different platform. But even that, they're coming up with some new
Yeah, Autumn
community
got off
guideline.
hers, and then the
Yeah,
other group I'm in, they got off too because they
yeah,
started harassing us again.
Well, I think coming up like in the next month or something like that, there's gonna so all this new stuff is gonna kick in, and I know a couple people that are dropping it too because of that.
Well, we're
But
gonna have to drop it then. I'm not gonna be told what and what I can't say. I'm sorry, I'm too old. I don't need you to tell me what I
yeah,
can't say.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing too. That's another thing. So, like I said, truth becomes the first casualty. Autumn,
Mhm.
and I mean honestly, man, when it comes down to it, a lot of this stuff, man, even if we have to use some kind of like some of the other people I know over in England, man, or in the UK, we've been calling this stuff in the arm cupcake. You know, like we're talking about cupcakes. You know, it's like they're going to try and force this damn cupcake down our throat, man.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And it does. I don't even like the ingredients in it and all this other stuff, man. It's got all these sprinkles and all this other crap. That's all. I don't like this stuff.
Yeah,
So
I
we're
mean,
kind of
that's like
we're using that as a, you know what I mean, to kind of get away from and around some of this stuff, trying to find all the little loopholes. And that's the reason why I like the backstage stuff, Autumn.
I
I've been
hate.
Yeah.
doing some, I've been calling it a speakeasy. I've been doing that because when you do the StreamYard, you have the option of using the backstage stuff before you even start the stream
Right.
and after you end
Right.
it.
Well, I
So
think
I
that's an
mean,
excellent. I mean, I think I'm going to start doing something like that. And
if you
You're
did, I
gonna have
mean,
to teach
I,
me how, because I don't
even,
know.
like for instance, Autumn, I'll give you an example. For instance, I've done this before. Like for instance, just to have a private conversation with one individual. I can do the StreamYard. I don't even have to do a public thing. I can do the
right,
StreamYard,
absolutely.
and I can just send that link of the StreamYard link to like via email or whatever to somebody, and then they can come in. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then you can have a private conversation. You know what I mean, or whatever. And but I like the thing too because like if I could what I do on my second channel, the Wingnut TV 2
Be right
channel.
back.
I've been what I've been. I'll sit there and I'll actually put the link in the beginning in the chat. So like if somebody comes in and I'm already there, you know, we sit in the back room for I don't know whatever however long or whatever, and then get a bunch of people, or I can like. If I wanted to have like a guest and have like an interview type of scenario, which I've been thinking about, I've seen other people do it, but that would be a way to kind of get some stuff like ground rules kind of like set down, be like, okay, this is what we're going to talk about or
Can
whatever. We're going to,
YouTube hear you, Wingnut, when you're doing that?
no,
Okay, so
because
it's private.
you're not broadcasting live. You're just on StreamYard.
Okay.
Once you click go live, then you are broadcasting to wherever you're like YouTube or
Yeah,
whatever.
'cause I don't want them to
But
know our
and then yeah, exactly, yeah, and then
They
like for
know them
instance,
anyway, but
it's the same thing. Like after the live is ended, we can all be sitting in the back room and it'd be just like the same, but we're not broadcasting to YouTube through
right.
StreamYard. It's the same thing, but you can do it in the before it even starts also. But like for instance, if you had a guest, you can like send the link to your guest, have it over and you're like, hey, get a whole like, feel of your guest and all this other stuff. And then you can have everything set up so you know all your sound and all this other stuff is all kind of you get all that worked out before you even go live. And then once everything's set up, boom, push go live, then you have your interview. You know what I'm saying? That's something else. I was gonna put that to Miss Lockhart, but I haven't told her yet. But I don't know if she even uses StreamYard. But I'm just saying, like for instance, if I wanted to have like a guest scenario, that's a way to kind of get things kind of set up, so you're not going through all this like, does it work? Can you hear me? That kind of scenario. Um, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, well, and that's something that we're gonna have to like codify and put together something like that so that we can just have, and it's not to exclude anyone, but I do think human resources and then like even if we could set up something that's we
Well, I
could
mean, like
like
for instance,
points or
like
checkpoints or something, we could just
yeah,
like if it's you're right, like there's some things may not be possible to do, but if there's somebody in your
right.
region that you can reach out to, like we need a database of contacts or something, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? We that's not if you can put something together or shoot it out or print it out, you've got something in your hand that you
Well, I
can
mean,
use.
yeah. Well, it does really start locally because when all the crap goes down, when you know, it's just a matter of when. It's not if, but when it does, you know, just kind of having a general idea of what you got around you, your surroundings. That's what you're going to deal with. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's kind of it's like for anybody and everybody. I mean, I know quite a few of my neighbors just because they're family, and then there's other neighbors around here I know of them. I've never really met them and really don't know a whole lot about them. You know what I mean? But you know, that's always in the back of my mind. You know, it's like you get down to the point. If it, you know, if things was to go bad and the power was out for weeks or whatever, you think about it. After a couple weeks, people start getting worried, and third week, that's like, okay, this is getting serious. You know what I mean? Fourth week, you know what I mean? People start freaking out. You know what I mean? And you know, you never know what these neighbors are capable of doing or willing to do, and for whatever. You know what I mean? So,
God dang it.
you know,
Could be
you never know.
scary.
You never know. I mean, it's just something that you got to be aware of. I mean, it's not to be scared of it, in my opinion. That's the way I
got a
look at it.
book, so I got a book, The Lost Ways, so my neighbors will like me,
There,
I guess.
well, I mean, that's the good information. I mean, even if you had that all that knowledge in your head, that it doesn't weigh a single ounce, man.
Right.
And I mean, you know, that's a good book actually,
It is.
because
It's like a paperback too. It's big, but it's paperback. It's light.
right,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna be studying that.
I mean, seriously, like even like how to make pemmican, pemmican.
That's one of the main
Yeah, well, that's what
reasons.
I'm saying. We have to save our goodies for this because
For the potluck.
this right here is see we could even be a BS potluck or BS 411 and the
Right.
back STAGE is what I'm
Yeah.
talking about because this is it's like they're contracting our world.
Right.
Yeah.
You're mimicking whatever we do.
Right. So I mean, and that's why I think it's important. But what I'm going to do is, guys, I don't want to do it, but I have to wrap us up.
Okay.
And I appreciate you guys so much for coming on. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Wingnut
Autumn,
Radio.
for having us. Wingnut Radio, thank you very much. We really enjoyed your take here. We always like to hear from our men folk.
Yeah,
And
please.
so love you guys. Thank you for listening to my
Thank you, Autumn.
Thank you,
You're
Autumn.
welcome. Thank
Bye,
you, guys.
honey.
All right, you guys have a great Thursday. All right, guys, we're out. We're gonna get out of here. I just want to say thanks so much to everybody that came in. Okay, we're a little bit buffery there, but I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that came in. And if you had a chance to hit our algorithm, thank you so much, Marty Lauderdale. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it, as well as Luciano and Derek C. Williams. I'm so sorry that didn't work out for us this time, but we look forward to seeing you again. And please do come back. You're welcome anytime. Thank you, Derek C. Williams, for supporting us. Alex Bleeping Jones, Luciano, as well as Marcy T. Thank you, Marcy T. And Wingnut Radio. Thank you so much for coming on. Fancy Truth. I thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Luciano, Marty Lauderdale, thank you as always. 22 Ronan, thank you for coming in, as well as I'm missing somebody. Uncool Paranoia, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you for chiming in. We are love to have you around. Thank you so much. And please come back. Yes. And who else did we have? Did we miss it? Freedom's March showed up. Freedom's March, you snuck in here. But I really appreciate you guys all so much for coming in on this segment. And I think we had a stimulating time and we got a lot in. So you guys are all valuable here. And I look forward to seeing you guys again, of course, on the next stream. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to our to the Black Spring Mobile. Thank you so much. And you guys have a great rest of your Thursday. If you have anything you want to send me or something you didn't get out on this particular stream, let me know. If you want to contribute to 411, the BS 411 or the BS potluck, you gotta send us an email in order to get the tag. We'll tag you in, but you gotta tag me first. You gotta tag me first, and I'll tag you in. Don't be shy, because I do think that we're at an inflection point, as your fierce leader, regime commander has said. So without further ado, you guys have a great night.